Okay, so we know how to send it, what to send. So now what's really important, what you will receive from EULISA. At this stage, there are 3 possible statuses you can receive. So the first one, okay, EES. So I think this is clear. It means that the single or double entry visa was found in the database for this person, and at least 1 entry was left on this visa. So we can easily, with easy mind, bring this person to member states. Another possible, another possible status is not applicable. So it means that EULISA decided that this person doesn't need to be really vetted. So this will apply to EU nationals or visa-exempt nationals and at this stage. Okay, and the last, let's say the worst status, so not okay, EES. So what does it mean? It means that for this person, no single or double entry visa was found in the database, or it was found, but there are no more, let's say, entries left on it. Okay, what does it mean in practice? Because it doesn't mean that you cannot for sure bring this person to member states. If they have another valid document that allows them to entry, then you can bring them. So for example, if you check and they do have a long stay visa or a resident card, then yes, you can bring them to member states. I hope I know that this is one of the most important questions, so I will even get back to that a few slides later to repeat to double ensure that everything is clear. Okay, crew. So basically, the same rules apply to crew. If a crew member has a single or double entry visa, they do need to be vetted. So of course, the same parameters apply to crew as for the PAC. So nationals, EU nationals, and so on don't need to be vetted. But additionally, there's one more, let's say, filter or exception, that everyone who has crew member certificate is outside of scope of EES. Theoretically, there are different regulations in each country regarding this, but I know that EULISA is still trying to, get one, let's say, stand on it. So it's much more easier to understand. But this is what we know at this stage. If they have crew member certificate, they do not need to be vetted, as they do not need visa. Okay, so this slide is mostly a reminder. We covered passports quite deeply on the last webinar. So just a quick reminder. Passports contains of 2 parts, the visual part marked as 1 and the machine readable zone marked here as 2. They may differ between each other. So of course there are small differences, but the data can be different in machine readable zone that it is in visual part. So the most important thing, in case of EULISA, machine readable zone always has priority. So this is how you should send data to EULISA, how they are portrayed in a machine readable zone. Just one special case here. If you have single name person, let's say, if you are using web portal or app, you need to input first name unknown or last name unknown. So in, of course, just letters, so FNU or LNU. If you're using PnrGo, just leave it as is in your system, and PnrGo will add it automatically later on. Okay. If you have any doubts, any questions regarding how to input the data from passports, there's a whole article on our blog about this, or the part of last webinar, and you can both find it on our blog, on our website. With that, we finished up, let's say, the theoretical part of the presentation. And now we'll go to the part on how it's going to work with PnrGo, what you can expect, what will happen, and so on. Okay, so first of all, data flow. Data flow will be exactly the same as for all other interactive systems we have already implemented, and really similar to all the PNR API messages as well. So flight packs crew data will be taken from your scheduling software automatically into PnrGo. Then PnrGo will decide if this flight and passengers on this flight needs to be reported and vetted with EULISA. If yes, we will, at the marked time, we will send the data to EULISA, and in a few seconds, we will get the answer from EULISA back with the statuses for each and every passenger we sent. Then we will send those data back to system or via email to carrier. In case of any updates or major changes, I will explain those on another slide. The data flow is exactly the same. So the change will be sent to PnrGo. PnrGo will decide if this change needs to be reported or not, and you will get new statuses for passengers. Just to remind you, only inbound flight from third countries to member states will be taken into consideration at all. If you're flying between member states, so let's say France, Poland, this flight will not even be taken into consideration. Now the changes I have mentioned before. If you add a new PAX or change PAX data, then of course the update to EULISA will be sent. And you will get new, maybe the same, but updated, let's say, status for this passenger as well. The change of arrival airport will trigger the update as well. Now there is schedule and delay. So for schedules, the update will be sent. For flight delays, no. And I know the next question will be, what's the difference between reschedule and delay in this case? So this will be calculated by our system to make sure that the message that was already sent is in the brackets of time that EULISA allows. So let me give you an example. The message was sent 24 hours before departure, and then the flight is, let's say, delayed, rescheduled 24 hours, no, that's a bad example, 12 hours into the future. So then the message was actually sent 36 hours before departure, which still is in the brackets of time that EULISA allows. If, for example, the message was sent 48 hours before departure and there's any delay, let's say 6 hours delay, then the message was really sent 54 hours in advance, and it's no longer in the allowed brackets, so the message will be sent again. Okay, next slide. Okay, so now, what to really expect from PnrGo? We tried to build the system to have as little as possible not okay answers. They're not okay. Let me explain. So first of all, based on the classical data you send us, so the passport, we right away know if this person is EU citizen, so we right away know that he is not applicable, or if he's visa exempt, which is also not applicable at this stage. And that we can always do for each passenger we receive data. Then, if carrier is able to provide us additional data, then we can filter it a bit more. If you provide for this passenger additional document like a resident card or alien card, then we notice, okay, this person is also outside of scope of EES, then you will get not applicable in this case. Similar for long-stay visa holders. If carrier is able to mark visa type as long-term, then we again know this is not applicable. Here, a difference between system you may use. Some of the system we work with already has this option to choose visa type. Some of them not yet. We are working all the time with them to have this option is as many systems as is possible. The third option is you can mark a passenger as not applicable in the system. So let's say your scheduling software is not able to provide visa type, then you can go to PnrGo and mark this passenger as not applicable manually. This will also apply for transit passengers that you can mark. Okay, so now everyone focus. I think this is the most important slide that I will repeat again, what you need to do in case of which answer. Just a summary a bit. PnrGo is connected with quite a few interactive systems right now. And as each of them has a bit of different answers, we try to uniform them into one template, let's say, so it's a bit easier to understand without having to remember all the possible answers. So if we received OK EES, we will transcribe it, let's say, to OK to board, and this is how we will send you. Of course, with the message, with a comment from us, from EULISA, that passenger is allowed to be boarded. In this case, no action is required. If we receive not applicable, then the same will be shown to you, but with the comment why they are not applicable. So, for example, we can have visa exempt or EU citizens or something like that. In those cases, you just need to check their passport as you do so far. Now, and again, let's focus, not OK EES. In this case, we will send you status inhibited, no board, as this is how we do the not OK for interactive systems, with the comment single or double entry visa not found. But again, it doesn't mean that you cannot bring this person to the member states. If they hold any other valid document that will allow them to come, you can board them. So if they show you long-stay visa, you are good to go. And just to explain a bit more, I have prepared few cases for you, so you can understand how to clear sort of the not okay statuses. So during the booking, the passenger provided you only with one passport that was issued by Turkey. As Turkey nationals are in scope of EES, his or her data were sent to EULISA. In response, you received not okay EES. So again, it means that, okay, maybe I can bring this person to a member state, maybe I can't. So you contact the carrier, the passenger, ask them, okay, do you have any other documents? And you get information, yes, I have also German passport. So you can add this to your system. As for example, arrival passport was the main passport, depending on the system. And this will be propagated to us. And right away, the system will know, okay, now this person has German, so EU national passport. So instead of not okay EES, this person now will receive not applicable. In the second case, again, Turkish passport sent, not okay received. You ask the question, okay, do you have other documents? And they say, yes, we do have a long-stay visa. So if your system allows you, you can mark this as long-stay visa holder. And again, it will be sent to PnrGo. And then we can right away decide that, okay, this person is really outside of scope of EES. I hope this clarifies a bit how it will work and what to pay attention to. Okay, additional features you can have in PnrGo. So first of all, you can decide as a carrier on the time of submission. So the first time we will send the message to EULISA. We decided on the default time, 24 hours before departure, because we think this is, let's say, the most practical. But if carrier wants to have it earlier or later on, they just have to let us know and we can adjust it accordingly. Then carrier can decide if they want to vet the crew or not at all. So for example, if all your crew members have crew member certificate, then none of them need to be vetted. So we can decide, okay, that's not for me, I don't need it. So we can say, okay, don't vet the crew, don't send the crew at all. You can also let us know just via email if you don't want to do it. By default, yes, it will be turned on. Now, the notification system. For those who are using PnrGo, probably are quite familiar with this. What we can send, so what is sent from our system. So first of all, we have two options of sending those statuses, let's say. First of all is, of course, system to system. So we will send statuses directly to your flight system. The second option is via email, so we can send it via to indicated by you email. You can have one of this option or two. Also, system to system depends on what system do you use. And what we send. First of all, we send, of course, the general status of the message. So if the message was sent correctly to EULISA, if there was no errors, no problem there. Then the second thing we can send is SPAX statuses. So again, this can be shown directly into your system or send via email. We will send you after receiving the responses from EES. We will send you the status for each passenger. Then, of course, there's a whole system of warnings. So in case there's anything wrong with the flight, like, for example, missing data for the passengers because you forgot to add passport data, let's say, we will inform you about this, warn you in advance so you can collect those data and provide them. Okay, what's next? Okay, so this slide, I was actually not sure if to put it here, but we still have a lot of misunderstanding on how the integration sort of work between systems and PnrGo. So I have gathered two cases. We have two different systems, so case one and case two. So what's the difference here? In case one, you have option to input passenger data in two different places. On the left, you can see this, let's say, call it a profile, when you provide the basic information about the passengers, and then the passport details. So in passport, you can also has a place for name and last name. So in this case, PnrGo will take data only from the passport. So both name and last name will be taken from the column passport, not from the profile. So in such a case, in the profile, you can use, let's say, the real name of the passenger with special characters, too long names or whatever. But in the document column, you need to input how the data is in machine readable zone. Then we have a second case where there's only one place to provide passenger names. In such a case, you need to input the data correctly from the machine readable zone in this one place, even if it's called profile, right? It will be taken from here. To remember what else to remember to fly in your flight management system, add the resident cards or other documents they may have and mark visa type if it's possible. Okay, we are pretty much done with the presentation. This is, I think, the last slide. So just a quick summary. This is something you can send to your team to what to look out for. So the most important things: validate your data you have provided to the EULISA versus machine readable zone. So make sure there's no typos, no special letters, that data were provided exactly how they are in machinable readable zone. Second point, make sure that the passport is biometric. So you can see it, but you know what the mark of the biometric passport. This is important for visa exempt nationals, especially because even if, for example, we have here Albania, I think Ukraine, Serbia, even though they are theoretically visa exempt, those who do not have biometric passport are not. So this is something also to pay attention to. And the third, this is the third time I think I will be repeating them, even if you receive not okay EES, You just need to check if they have any other documents they can be allowed to arrive to member states. Okay, I think this is the end. Yes, so thank you very much for the presentation, for listening. Now we'll go to Q&A.